everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, April 25th. We are intraday right now, and this video is all about trade ideas and trade setups. So I've been mentioning for the past couple of weeks here that I've been thinking about kicking into gear a new sort of weekly video series, which is only going to be devoted to trade setups for your watch list, names that I'm paying attention to that you might be interested in. And this will be the first sort of kickoff here. I'm thinking it's going to be every Wednesday, possibly Thursday. It's going to be a Wednesday or Thursday rotation. Some of that may depend on what kind of setups are available, if there's anything interesting to talk about. But let's plan for sort of Wednesday. Very actionable, sort of individual stock focused. We're not going to mention or really go into depth on the market environment. You can watch yesterday's usual kind of Tuesday's midweek video to get my latest thoughts and analysis on the market as a whole. So going forward, Wednesdays, that's what we're going to plan for the trade ideas video. And another exciting piece to it is that I've recently partnered up with Investors Business Daily, so that's IBD, and I've been going through their stock list, their premium stock list behind the scenes, and there's quite a bit of overlap from what I look at in my sort of trading and what they offer in some of their leadership scans, their growth scans, their IBD 50 lists. So I'm going to be bringing you some of their ideas here in this video, just setups that I think are interesting from a swing trader standpoint. So, we'll get the benefit of their curation and team, curating those stocks for us, and we'll discuss those in this video as well. There's links in the description if you're interested in what they do and what type of stock list that they provide. So without any further, let us jump into this week's video. We have, looks like 7 names to go through here, and especially during this time right now, we're in earnings season, so make sure you're double checking all of these earnings dates if you are interested in any of these setups. I know there are many that are reporting in the next week or so, so make sure you double check those dates if you're interested in any of these names. So first up is GLNG. So this is the first name that I'm watching. This comes from my watch list here, and what I'm noticing, this is a name I think I shared out last week or so, but when we look at basically multiple time frames, I like to start at that big picture time frame. When we look at a weekly chart here, so this is a weekly, each bar represents 1 week worth of trading. You can see we are in this nice uptrend here. We have emerged from this base that we spent consolidating for the past 5 or so months with a breakout last week. It was a 12% move, strong volume breakout, and now we can see GLNG is just really high and tight, kind of flagging, letting these moving averages catch up. Look at the volume that came in last week here. So for you momentum traders, for you looking for relative strength, I think this is an interesting candidate. And again, I should have prefaced this at the very beginning of the video here, is that none of these names are recommendations to, certainly none of these are direct recommendations. That's always, a granted, but none of these are sort of recommendations or suggestions to go buy the stock right now, right? Especially, you need to take this in context of your own strategy, do your due diligence on the actual execution front, so you can, you can really make this your own. The market environment right now, not so pleasant for the upside for long trades right now, particularly on momentum. So a lot of these names and setups we're going to talk about can just be used as curation to pay attention to. These are relative strength sort of leaders in most cases. So as the market, even if it continues to take a beating, we can continue to watch these names. And when the market does finally catch its footing, we can look at some of these ideas as potential leadership candidates, first to move on the upside when that all clear signal or when that bounce is ready to come back into the market. So long-winded way of saying, do your own homework, make sure these all fit for you. Don't rush out and buy any of these just because they are featured in this video. So GLNG, like the momentum, like the breakout here, might need some more time consolidating, but I like this high tight sort of flag base that it's building out here. So something I'm paying attention to. Next up is NBL. So this one here, Energy sector, it's been very, very strong over the past several weeks here. You can see it's had this nice move all the way from $24 to $33 in the past 2 months. So it's had a great move, but you can see it's just hanging out here near highs. Again, another just high, tight, relative strength consolidator. When you think about the market and what it's done over the past week or so, as it's fallen 5 consecutive days in a row and has lost all key moving averages, we can see NBL here is just hanging up and not caring about anything that's going on in the broad market. So something to pay attention to, strong sector that it is currently in. So keep an eye on that high tight base there for NBL. Next up is RGLD. So here's a few now that, or actually I think I'm only featuring one right now that is from the metals and mining space or basic materials, but this has been a hot space here as well. And if we zoom out, RGLD has really got a bigger base going on here ever since late 2017. So if we go to, this is a weekly time frame here, and you can see it's really just carving out after this strong move throughout most of 2017. It's carving out now this almost 7-8 month base here, and it is trying to lift back up to these old highs in 2017, and it's doing it in a pretty orderly fashion here. So I'm paying attention to it as it really gets close to this $90 level. You can see there's quite a bit of significance here as it's failed over the past many months at this $90 level. So let's see if this time, looks like 5th time would be the charm here to break out above 90 and then maybe attack these August highs from 2017. So part of this is going to be reliant on what metals are doing, but RGLD, I think it's an interesting setup here, and it's one that has a little more meat behind it, bigger base for something for us to really be paying attention to for you longer term sort of hold traders. Next up is FSLR. So First Solar here doesn't look all that impressive on this daily chart, looking at kind of the action that's going on here, but the significance of this level goes all the way back to 2014. So if we look at a monthly chart, which is what we're looking at right now, take a look at this $74 level. It has been the highs for the past 5 years in First Solar. So this is a significant level both in the short term and long term. So if we start getting a breakout here, notice we did get this high volume move above significant multi-year resistance just the other week, last week, and now we've pulled back underneath this $74 level. So I'm looking for a little more strength here. Again, it's not ready just yet. It's just a watch list candidate. But if we can start clearing above $75, it's going to start emerging from the short-term base and clearing long-term multi-year resistance. So something to pay attention to there in First Solar. And this one does appear to have earnings tomorrow. Okay, so this one is unfortunately, if this date is correct here, 4/26, double check those dates, something to pay attention to. But if it does start to break out, if earnings is the excuse, then it's something to look at as a post-earnings trade there as well in First Solar. Finally, from my list here of stocks, we got Humana, HUM. This one here has really just been kind of acting technically very sound here. Base breakouts over the past couple of weeks. And what you'll notice here in Humana, again, go to a weekly chart. You can see a strong performer on a weekly time frame trading just under these highs here. And if we go back down to that daily chart, it broke out from this range. This was early last week, the 17th, and now it's kind of just pulled back. It's let the moving averages catch up, and it's just consolidating here on very light volume. So again, when we think about the market, what it's been doing, it's been selling off over the past 5 days. Humana here has just been really tight, low volume, consolidating at highs. Something to pay attention to if the market gets its strength together. If we can start to lift above 299, break out on volume, I think this is an interesting candidate going forward. So that's it from my list. I got 3 names that I'm going to bring you from Investors Business Daily's list. So first up is ETFC. So E-Trade Financial. This here now is sort of an interesting setup. It had earnings the other day, and it had this nice high volume push higher here on the 20th, and we saw this breakout. This was last Friday to new highs here. If we go to the weekly time frame, just take a look at the monster here of an uptrend that E-Trade has been in. Now, when we kind of zoom out here on the daily chart, we do notice we are getting fairly sort of stretched here. I don't know if we would consider this late stage right now, potentially in a blow off of sorts here for E-Trade. But for you momentum traders, I do think there's still plenty, there's still actionable kind of a fierce move that could start to develop in here. Maybe this is some type of final sort of a blow off move here for E-Trade, but I still think despite that, there's still tradable opportunity here. There's a lot of volume coming in. It is trading at highs here, so I'd be paying attention to even a move back up above today's highs or above this $60 level. This could really start to run higher here, and even if it's contained for you tactical traders, I think you can get some quick swings out of it, or potentially look for some more parabolic breakout of this upper trend here. So good volume, nice strong trend, and fundamentals intact there for E-Trade, and it has reported earnings, so you do have that out of the way. Next up from IBD's list is Wing. This is probably my favorite right now from what I see on their list. Wingstop recently broke out last week, or actually this was early last week on Monday. We had this nice high volume breakout above this multi-month sort of sideways range here, right at all-time highs. So you can see monster trend, nice breakout here, and then we saw that breakout happen last Monday, and it didn't really get any follow through. It kind of just tapered off, and has pulled back. Yesterday got essentially down to retest the breakout level here, and now it's popping back up, showing some nice relative strength here today. So I like Wing. It does report earnings next week, but for a kind of a breakout pullback retest, I think this looks good, and it's a strong structural sort of uptrend here. So something to pay attention to there. And last but not least, again from Investors Business Daily, this is KEX. Now, unfortunately, this is a earnings reporter soon. I think this is this week, so double check that date. In fact, yeah, 4/25. So this might be, again, a post earnings play here, but we have just, again, a nice, strong, technically sound chart here, weekly chart. If we look here, just in this nice uptrend ever since 2017, it broke out from this sideways channel here in early April, and it's just had this nice kind of volume run higher, and then you got this lighter volume pullback. I love trading these as pullback candidates. If it weren't for earnings, for me, I'd be looking at a move over 86 or so to really, look for a possible pullback entry here. But you are going to have to pay attention to earnings, so do just keep that in mind. But I do like the setup here in KEX. It'll be on my watch list to pay attention to that reaction. So that is all I have for trade ideas in this video. I think we're going to do, again, every week or so on Wednesdays or Thursdays. And hopefully this will be, a good sort of addition there to fill in some more actionable ideas to our broad market recap videos. Check out Investors Business Daily. The link is in my description of this video. They're doing some great work over there, great curation, and I'm a fan of certainly recent playing around and looking at how they've been building up those lists over the past couple of weeks. So thanks for watching. As always, jump back in on Friday for our weekend recap video. Thanks so much.